Hello, guys, and welcome back. Uh, it's been some time. Uh, have you guys been checking out some of the latest reviews that I've been putting up? Had a lot of have some people saying that it's good to see me back doing the comic reviews, and it's been fun to get back into it again as always. Once again, like to retort once again, reiterate what I said before. Um, in terms of comic reviews on my main channel here on this channel, basically we're only doing the big two, Marvel, DC. So those will definitely be on this channel. If you want to see showcasing of indie comics, big and small, um, then you go to the channel known as Geek Ramble. I do all indie showcases over there, um, uh, which I will be showcasing some comics over there as well. Some that I can tell you, like some Kickstarters that I'm finally gonna talk about. For example, I'll also leave the link of the channel at the end of the vid, but I'm gonna talk about books over there like Kickstarters from like Stealth. Um, Another Kickstarter that I helped kickstart called Cat and Mouse. Another Kickstarter called Dragon Frog. Things like that. You'll see books like that over there, and of course, there'll be also some you know some reviews from just indie companies like from Valiant, IDW, things like that over there. But before I finished off the last haul, because I haven't finished everything from this week's haul and everything like that, but I wanted to get this book out because this was another book that I'm sure everybody wanted to know. Everybody has been asking me, did I get it? And I wanted to talk about it. And of course, we're talking about none other than Young Justice, #1. You can't see the cover because it's the white cover, but when you look inside of it, and you can see it. Now I don't know how good that's going to come out because the green screen may mess it up or so like that. But let's talk about Young Justice #1, Wonder Comics. This is Bendis's first book with under this regime. First and foremost, like I've always said, Bendis. Bendis to a lot of fans can be a hit and miss. He starts out good, but then he starts to, as I always say, he starts to get writer's block because he may be taking on way too many projects. And it's funny how we say that now because it's already he's got several projects now with DC. Is starting to feel just like his reign with Marvel, like he was taking on too many, and a lot of his work started to retort in other books. Like, I've seen you write like this before, Miss Bendis. Like, I've seen this kind of storytelling before. So, but with teen heroes, he's always been pretty good with. He works really well with this. Now, I was a fan of Young Justice back in the day when Peter David first wrote the series. I did like it when you got to see a young Tim Drake and a young Cassie and Superboy and all those characters on there. So it was cool when I saw that they were bringing this back. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go with it. But in this first issue is just a simple understanding for us readers to understand who is a part of this team. That's pretty much the gist of this title, is who is a part of this team, and that's pretty much it. But it focuses on the first spotlight is on Jenny Hex, who is the granddaughter, I believe, of Jonah Hex. She comes into Metropolis, country girl, comes in, big city. She's all in awe, but realizes she gets pulled over by a police officer. Police officer tell her, license, registration, everything like that. And she's like, why am I being pulled over? I'm not even going to try to do a Southern accent. So, but you know, she's pretty much asking all the questions like why, and then all of a sudden, pretty much these individuals from I guess another dimension or so uh, come in and they're like, yo, where is Superman? Bring your champion. You know, we want to face your champion. And enter Tim, and then we get a flashback to when Tim got into the city and he runs into Cassie. They hug it out, they reminisce a little bit, and then they hear the commotion, what's going on with Jenny. And Cassie's like really, she she's not really want to do it anymore because she's kind of moving on with her life. You know, she's going to school, and I love the line where Tim says your grandfather's cheap because she's the granddaughter of Zeus. So things like that. We get a little introduction into Impulse, Bart Allen, what he's up to, and of course they all interact with each other and meet this opposition that wants to fight Superman so badly, and they're holding their own. They're holding their own. The kids are holding their own until they do get a little overpowered. Then Cassie gets involved again, which is really good to see. I like her look. It's homage to her classic look, which is great. And of course, then we are introduced to Teen Lantern. Now, she is a very interesting character because I want to know more about her. What is her power set? Where does she get this power to make the constructs? Is she a lantern or is she something else? So she even says, I'm fairly new, but she's in a construct, like a mecha construct, ready to help. And then, of course, the team gets sucked into another world, and Tim meets another certain individual who's going to be a part of the team, a certain princess. Even though this book is a couple weeks old, I'm still not going to spoil it for everybody. It was really interesting to see how they mate. I love Tim. He's my favorite Robin. Favorite Robin. But it's good to see Tim, back and fold. And of course, Impulse runs into Connor. Connor looking back in his old 90s look, but he's got a beard and things like that. And, Connor's like, Bart is like, Connor! He's like, it's you, Connor! Oh my God, you got a beard and everything like that. Connor does know Bart. He knows who he is and everything like that. Now, it's going to be very interesting because there's two Superboys now. Connor and Jonathan. Jonathan had a major growth spurt. I'm not reading Bendis' Superman anymore. I tried it. I just can't get into it anymore. I love when Peter Tomasi and all them were writing it. It was better. In my opinion, it was much better than what Bendis is doing now. But I do keep my ear into what's going on with that book. And I know Jonathan had a big growth spurt, and he's really now grown, like almost a teenager now. I'm like, okay. But still, this was a very good introduction into who the team dynamic is, and it makes me wonder how the team's going to get along, things like that. Some of the new people like Jenny Hex and Teen Lantern. I'm hoping she gets a better name than that. That's just not going to fly with me. Teen Lantern, like, no, that don't work. But also explaining her backstory is more important. I'm also wondering, are there going to be any more members of the team, or is this the seven of them? Is this it? Frankly, I don't like odd number teams. I'm very picky like that. Guys, I'm not even. I don't like odd number teams. They have to be even with me. So I'm hoping that maybe an eighth member will come later on. But so far, this was a very good introduction. Keep it up, Mr. Bendis. The next title, of course, that you will see me review in terms of what Bendis is doing for Wonder Comics is Naomi. I know I have it. I just haven't read it yet, guys. But I just wanted to get this out while my memory of it is still fresh. But I do have it. But yeah, Young Justice #1 was pretty good. Sorry guys, I can't give you there was a digital code for this. DC's starting to do the digital codes for, I guess, for their first issues. but I already given it out on Twitter. I don't know, maybe somebody picked it up or not. Gotta follow me guys on Twitter. That's the best thing I can say for you guys, because that's where I give all my digital codes out there. But yeah, man, it was a very good start, very good introduction, and I'll even show you like I love that scene right here of Connor and Bart meeting. That was pretty good. Now, in terms of people are already saying, is it really? I've seen a lot of book comic sites, and even here on YouTube, like IGN and all them people. Like, I really can care less about what IGN says sometimes. Like, but their concern is it room for 2 Superboys? And I look at that and then all these stuff, and I'm like, if y'all can have 5 Robins, 3 like Flashes, 2 Kid Flashes, 4 Batgirls in the same universe at one point, why can't there be 2 Superboys? It doesn't make sense. That just kind of irritated me when I read those comments and stuff, and just watch those vids and things like that. It's room for 2 Superboys, and it's hell, they're practically brothers, so yeah, it'd be good to see Connor and Jonathan. I would love to see that interaction, Connor and Jonathan meeting and getting to know each other, because technically they are like brothers. They have brothers, or so. Connor has DNA from Clark and Lex, so yeah. But Young Justice #1 was pretty good, guys. I can't really complain too much about it. It's an introduction. It's the standard introductory issue that gets us informed on who the team is. That's fine. I got no problem with that. But yeah, let's see where it goes. The next issue is going into, I think, Wonder Girl's secret. There's some secret she's hiding or so. So yeah. But other than that, guys, thank you for listening. I hope you guys enjoyed. Tell me, guys, what you thought about Young Justice if you read it. And I'm not talking about this TV series. Speaking of the TV series, tomorrow I believe will be I think is the mid-season finale. I think. But more importantly, if you haven't checked out, go check out my review of the last 3 episodes. I think you may like it. But other than that, guys, it's my Burn Kid saying peace, one love, stay tuned, keep it real. As always, my fellow geeks, your alpha bids you adieu.